Have you ever seen this happen? The person who works the hardest gets stuck. The smartest person in the room gets totally overlooked. And someone else, someone who's quieter, who never ever rocks the boat, they're the one who moves up. It feels completely backwards until you realize the rules you thought you were playing by aren't the real rules at all.
So let's ask a really uncomfortable question. What if this whole time, the game was never about being the best, but about being the most predictable? Let's pull back the curtain on the hidden systems that are really running the modern workplace.
All right, first up, we need to talk about the biggest myth there is, the promotion lie. We're all taught that if you just work hard enough, you'll get promoted. But the reality, well, it's a lot more calculated than that.
Look, every company handbook, every performance review, it all talks about results, performance. But what leadership actually secretly rewards is predictability. And why is that? It's simple. Predictable employees make a manager's life easier. They don't cause surprises, they don't question the way things are done, and they just make the whole system run without any friction.
So when you're up for a promotion, you're being run through these 3 hidden filters. First, is your behavior predictable? Can they count on you to act the same way every time? Second, are you low friction? Do you just blend in and not cause any trouble? And third, maybe the most important, are you compatible with their control? Do you accept authority without question? See, this has very little to do with your skills and everything to do with how easily you slot into their machine. And that gets us to the absolute core of it. A promotion is a risk for the company. They're betting on you, and a predictable, easy-to-manage person is always seen as a safer bet than a brilliant but potentially disruptive one. So remember this, easy beats excellent. Okay, so the system doesn't just evaluate you on these hidden metrics, it also tries to control you emotionally. And that brings us to our next section, the family framework. This is all about how simple words are used to create this really powerful and really deceptive sense of obligation. Oh, you've heard this one, right? We're family here. But you have to understand, that phrase isn't a description of the company culture. It's a tool. It's designed to substitute a clear professional contract with the messy, guilt-ridden, and undefined obligations of a real family. And here's the deal they're offering. The company gives you feelings, a sense of belonging, some praise, symbolic stuff like birthday cakes. But in return, what do? You give something very, very real. Your unpaid time, your personal boundaries, and your silence when things are wrong. It's a completely lopsided trade, and the house always wins. And this is how it works in the real world. A request to work late on a Friday? That's not a scheduling issue anymore. It's a test of your loyalty to the family. If you disagree with an idea in a meeting, you don't just have a different opinion, suddenly you're not a team player. And if you dare to set a boundary and say no, well, you're not being professional, you're being selfish, and you're going to feel that social coldness from everyone the next day. And this is the truly painful part. The people who buy into the family lie the most, the ones who give everything, they aren't protected by that loyalty. No, their loyalty is harvested. Their willingness to always say yes is seen as an endless resource, and they are used and used until they completely burn out. So what happens when these systems of control stop just quietly shaping your behavior and start being actively turned against you? That's what we're looking at next, and when the system attacks. This is the moment the workplace becomes a weapon. There's a name for it. Quiet firing. Sometimes it's called constructive dismissal. Here's the play. The company doesn't actually fire you. Instead, they just start changing your job piece by piece until the role you were hired for doesn't even exist anymore. They make things so miserable that quitting feels like your only option. And, of course, the most convenient one for them. The tactics are so subtle, you almost question if they're real. Your main responsibilities get slowly handed off to other people. You're put on a performance plan with goals that are literally impossible to meet. Your manager's tone just becomes openly hostile. You stop getting invited to key meetings. It's like a death by 1,000 little paper cuts. But here's the thing you absolutely have to understand. Before any of the official stuff happens, before the bad review or the meeting with HR, the attack starts socially. It starts with whispers and cold shoulders. By the time it's procedural, it's just a formality. The real work of pushing you out has already been done by your colleagues. This is often done through something called the Flying Monkey Network. It's a pretty wild name, but it's a real thing. It's where a manager basically outsources the dirty work of isolating you to the rest of the team. They'll spread rumors, but frame it as just being concerned. They turn your coworkers into spies. And the best part for them? They get to keep their hands completely clean. They have plausible deniability. Now, this network has all kinds of players. You've got the true believers who think the boss is a genius, and the career climbers who will do anything for a promotion. But the biggest group, the one that gives this whole system its real power, is the silent majority. These are the people who see exactly what's going on, say nothing, and just keep their distance. Their silence is the oxygen that this whole toxic fire breathes. So I know this can all feel pretty impossible to deal with, but it's not. And that's what this last section is about, rewriting your story. The key isn't to fight the system head on. The key is to change your relationship to it by becoming a meticulous, informed observer.
This is probably the most important thing to take away from all of this. A single event, being left off an email chain, a sarcastic comment from your boss, that can be explained away. Oh, it was just an accident, you're being too sensitive. But a documented pattern, a pattern cannot be denied. The pattern is the truth. So here's what you do. The second something feels wrong, you start a log. Every single incident, write down the date, the time, who was there, and exactly what was said. Save every email, every Slack message. And here's the pro move. After any weird verbal conversation, you send a polite, professional email saying, hey, just to confirm our conversation, we agreed on X, Y, and Z. This forces them to either agree with your version in writing or correct it. Either way, you get a paper trail. And when you do this, you start to see something incredible. Week 1, your manager's tone changes. Okay, maybe they're having a bad week. Week 4, you're removed from an important email list. An oversight, right? Week 8, your biggest project is given to someone else without a word. On their own, each of these is deniable. But when you log them over time, you're not paranoid. You have a clear, visible pattern of exclusion. You've turned a gut feeling into cold, hard evidence. And that ultimately is why this is so powerful. The whole goal of these hidden systems is to make you feel crazy, to make you doubt your own reality. Documentation is your anchor. It might not stop the toxic behavior overnight, but what it does, and this is crucial, is it stops them from rewriting history later. It ensures that when the time comes to tell your story, you're the one holding the pen.